add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Now we just need to mix them up and make sure that you don't confuse the different strategies, the different methods. Okay, so lesson 8. The first question, the first thing you should look at is the symbol. Some questions are going to be mixed on your test. You'll have some additions, some multiplications, some divisions. You need to look, what am I doing? I'm adding. So if I'm adding, that means I need a common denominator. So our strategy for that was to times the two bottom numbers together. 3 times 5 is 15. And then we multiply diagonally. 2 times 5 is 10. We're adding. And then we do the other way. 1 times 3 is 3. To finish the question, all I have to do is add the top numbers together. 10 plus 3 is 13 over 15. Done. Second question. See some fractions there? We look at the symbol in between. It's a minus sign. Same strategy as adding. We need to get a common denominator. So 7 times 2 is 14. Timesing diagonally. 6 times 2 is 12. We're subtracting. That's the only difference between this question and question 1. Timesing the other way. 1 times 7 is 7. Subtracting the top numbers. 12 take away 7 is 5 over 14.
Oh, I did plus.
Oh, yes. Got to be careful. That's probably going to be the thing that catches people, is either accidentally adding something that should have been subtracting, or unfortunately the other big mistake is when you should be multiplying, you're doing the adding process, which is just completely wrong. And I can't give you much marks for that, if any marks for that. So please be careful. Question 3. We are adding. However, this is one of the slightly harder types because we have mixed numerals. We need to change them into improper fractions. So the first one, the 2 on the bottom, stays on the bottom. 1 times 2 is 2, plus the 1 on top makes 3 over 2. Plus sign in between. The second fraction, the 3, stays on the bottom. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. Okay, once we've done that, then we do our common denominator method. We times. 2 times 3 is 6. We times diagonally. 3 times 3 is 9, plus sign. 8 times 2 is 16. Adding those top numbers, we get 25 over 6. You can leave the answer like that and you'll get full marks, but you are also welcome to turn that back into a mixed numeral, which would be 4 and 1/6. Either one of those or both of those, you will get full marks, as long as you've shown all the working out to get there. Okay, question 4. We are subtracting, but again, we have a mixed numeral in there. Everybody should be watching. No one should be talking. So changing that first fraction, the 4 on the bottom stays on the bottom. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. The second one doesn't need to be changed, so we're just going to write it down exactly as it is. Okay, now for the common denominator. 4 times 5 is 20. Timesing across, 7 times 5 is 35. This is a minus sign. And 4 times 4 is 16. 35 minus 16 is 35 minus 16. 19, thank you. Had a little mind blank there for a second. Over 20. Done. Question 5. Looking at the sign, it is multiplying. So a complete change of strategy here. We do not need to find a common denominator, but we want to try to cancel. So we're looking diagonally to find things that we can cancel off. The 10 and the 30. We can divide each of those by 10. 10 divided by 10 goes once. 30 divided by 10 goes 3 times. Looking diagonally the other way, the 15 and the 25, we can divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Once you've cancelled all that you can cancel, we times what's left. On the top, we times the top two numbers together. 1 times 5 is 5. On the bottom, 3 times 3 is 9. Always check to make sure, if I type that in, 5 over 9, just for some of you who are sometimes unsure whether you've actually completely simplified, you can type it in there and see if there was anything that you missed, but that one's done. Okay, question 6. We are multiplying again. There's a multiplication sign there. But we have mixed numerals. Always, always change your mixed numerals into improper fractions first. So let's do that. 5 on the bottom stays on the bottom. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Times 5. Now the second one. 3 stays on the bottom. 3 times 1 plus 2 makes 5. We're timesing. Don't forget that we're timesing. So we now want to try to cancel things. Looking at the 9 and the 3. Yep, I could cancel those. I can divide by 3. So 9 divided by 3 goes 3 times, and 3 divided by 3 goes once. Checking the other diagonal. 5 and 5. Yep, that's going to work. We can divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now we times what's left. 3 times 1 on the top makes 3. On the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1, or you can just write that as plain old 3. Done. Question 7. Divide sign. So this is the most recent one that we've done. This is the leave, kiss, flip. We leave the first fraction. Kiss means it becomes a times. And flip the second fraction upside down. Remember, that is called the reciprocal, because you will be asked to find the reciprocal of things like we did in the practice examples yesterday. Now that it is a times sign, we do the same thing as we did in the last question. We look for cancelling. So the 4 and the 8. Yes, I can simplify those by dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 goes once. 8 divided by 4 goes twice. Now let's check the other diagonal, the 5 and the 10. They can divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now you may or may not notice that there is actually more cancelling there that can be done. There is a 2 on the top here and on the bottom there. Remember just to keep a little eye out for that. The ones on top of each other can also cancel. 2 divided by 2 goes once here and once there. That means that everything is now ones. So on the top I have 1 times 1 is 1, and on the bottom I have 1 times 1, which is 1, and it all just equals 1. If you didn't cancel that last lot of 2's, you would have had 2 over 2, and then you could have just gone equals 1 after that, if you didn't do that last bit of simplifying. Okay? Question 8. We have mixed numerals, so let's change them. 2 stays on the bottom. 2 times 1 is 2, plus the one on top is 3. Don't do the kiss part yet. We're just changing them into improper fractions. The 3 on the bottom for the next one. 3 times 1 plus 1 makes 4. Now that they are improper fractions, we can do the leave, kiss, flip. Leave the first one, kiss, and flip the second one upside down. Timesing, we're looking for cancelling. The 3 and the 4. Nope, nothing to cancel there. The 2 and the 3. Nope, nothing to cancel there. So all we can do is times what's on there. 3 times 3 is 9 on the top, and 2 times 4 is 8 on the bottom. Because that is an improper fraction, we can change that to a mixed numeral, which is 1 and 1/8 if we like, but I will also accept 9/8 as an answer as well. Okay, so your work today is to finish off. Remember, I only asked you to do that first. Make sure you've done the first section of yesterday's work. You want to finish off that second section. Most of you, I think, have got a good start on that. Some of you even finished that, which is wonderful. And then there is these last few pages here, and that is the whole rest of your booklet. So that means I want everything finished. After today's lesson and after a little bit of homework maybe tonight, we want to have everything finished in this booklet, please. There is an extra section here in the booklet, but you will notice that it says here extension. Okay, it is not going to be on, these ones are not going to be on the test, but if there are some of you in here that do finish early and would like to try some of these harder ones, you are very welcome to.
Can you just do, like, for number 2, wouldn't it be like